guys, you've seen a few photos bouncing around the internet, maybe a small clip on TikTok or something like that. But what I'm about to unleash with you guys tonight is something awesome. And that is this massive project we've got going on. It's a 4-truck load, 108 or 111 billets of a mountain project for a private homeowner. And I'm going to do a walkthrough with you and kind of share with you all the things that we've got going on in this particular project. There is a lot. I'm super stoked about it because we're filming everything and we're going to wrap all that up and create a massive docu-type series of how we're doing what we're doing, and you as subscribers are going to be able to have first row seats for all the things that we've done on this project, all the products, the tools, the tips, the tricks, the stylings, the methodology, everything. So I'm super excited about that. Smithworks is doing a great job putting it all together, and it will soon be out. But let's get started. First of all, we are standing in the middle of a 24 by 54 foot pool. It's the largest pool that they make for a steel wall liner pool. And this particular pool has some unique qualities to it. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is the 4-foot or shallow spaces. I'm actually standing in the 10-foot deep area right now. But about another 12 or 15 feet that way starts roughly 20 or 18 feet of 4-foot. Which is great. And then it goes to the deep end, which will be able to sustain all of our activities here. And then we jump back up again into a 4-foot section underneath the waterfall. So right about where I'm standing, it tapers back up to 4 feet. And then from 4 feet all the way to the end, to the auto cover, then you have access to the cocktail bar and the other things that are underneath of the mountain. So what I want to start off with is basically giving you kind of a snapshot of all the specialties that are in this mountain. It's a big piece. There's a lot going on. And so we're going to take some time and we're going to go through each of these steps with you. Okay, the first piece that I want to talk about is the actual hot tub. This is not an ordinary hot tub. This is a 12 by 10 hot tub. And it's got a coping that goes all the way around it. It has an auto cover as well. It's 4 feet deep. It's got a ledge and stairs that go down into this massive hot tub. Very big hot tub. I've got decorative rock that's on the outside that'll come up about 2 feet or just under 2 feet all along the edge here. So we'll probably no doubt have lighting accenting all of this kind of coping work is here. That goes all the way into the mountain piece right here. So this piece right here is, the hot tub is basically sunk in the ground about 2 feet or 2.5 feet. And then everything else is kind of built to it. So it's not totally in the ground, but it's in the ground enough to where you could walk up to it and sit down on this ledge and swing your feet over, or you walk up on the stairs and walk in through the regular area. The cool thing about this hot tub is it's got several special features to it. The first is a part of the mountain on the front side of the slide is I've got a waterfall that's basically recirculating the hot tub water. Now, a hot tub like this takes about a half an hour to get to the desired temperature, so the water doesn't have to be hot the entire time. But this is a waterfall that will go from here to here, and it will cascade down, and it will actually be the hot tub water. I've got a secondary waterfall coming out of the hot tub that's on the face over here, and you can see how that is basically very linear, and it's got a wide area. It'll probably be close to an 8-foot waterfall that will spill over into the hot tub, or I'm sorry, spill over from the hot tub area into the pool. However, this is not hot tub water that's going into the pool. This is actually pool water just recirculating up and out and over this. There's only one waterfall that's actually hot water, and that will be off of this particular waterfall right here. The other really cool thing is I've got like a lover's cave in this piece. So this will be all dressed out, and you can climb in and sit down on either side. It's very cozy for two. The client specifically asked for a little extra room. So this is called the Lover's Cove, and all of this is really, quaint. It's very close. I've got a few more things to clean out here. The client asked for a little bit more room. I have no idea why he would want more room in the lover's cave, but there you go. It's the lover's cave for two. It'll be shielded off by the water and totally private. It's, I mean, you can feel pretty secluded in here, and you'll be able to lean back and, you know, it's going to be really sweet. I think this is a really, really special element to a waterfall, being behind a waterfall where you have the water hiding, you know, your little cave. I think that's a really cool effect. Very rarely do you get a chance to do it, but I'm excited to do it because this is a perfect area for it. The fractures come down, there's a break in there, it'll be very dark, and I think it's just going to be really, really cool. The next section that I want to talk about is the right face of the mountain just off of the hot tub area. This is a unique area because the house is directly this way. So there's really no houses here. It's a very secluded area with a lot of forests. There's like a big valley right here, but there is cars that come in as they approach the house. So I did want this face to look attractive. And so there is pavers that'll come through here as a walkway. And what I did was I basically created a cave that goes right in here. So you can see a little bit of this cave as you're driving up to the house. And I made sure that there was plenty of big ledges and big areas that overhang. And of course, with the waterways and some of the foliage you'll be coming out of there, I thought that would be very attractive. And then as we enter into the cave, this will be a worn out, watered out area, very stratified, coming all through here as we make our way back toward the pool area, or I'm sorry, the pool control area, which is directly to my right. And then, of course, we'll get into the pool, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. The next thing I want to talk about is before you get into the cave, you actually have this huge sidewall, and it has a lot of really cool architecture to it because it's got monolithic stratifications that go all the way to the top. So this is the first that you'll be able to see just the scope and the scale of how this rock is on a big face. Which leads us to the back of the mountain, which will have a completely different effect as well. So I'll continue that stratified rock to the back, but then I'm changing the rock a little bit because what the homeowner requested was an area for rock climbing. So you come through this little tunnel, and then you enter into a span of area that's probably roughly 38 to 40 feet long, or I'd say probably 36 to 38 feet long, starting from this wall, going all the way down here. This whole face will be prepared for rock climbing. There'll be a couple of auto machines that'll go on the top that'll come down to that you can tie into, and then we're basically putting a double structure coat and then our wall treatment on this, and then we'll be able to go back and at the appointed time get the various holds and bolt those holds all the way to the top. Again, a lot of really cool use for the back side of the mountain. There's no houses back here. It's complete forest preserve, and you're never really going to be back here hanging out because it's just basically dead space. But he didn't want to lose this space. He wanted it to be functional, and I can't blame him. Continue through. This is a very small cave. The children in this home are very young, so they wanted like a cave. So this is all material that's underneath the stairwell that goes to the top of the deck. So it's a perfect area to create little tunnels and passageways for kids to play in. On the back side here, where you've got more heavy architecture, big overhangs, big monolithic pieces jutting out, big pieces cantilevering over to create a very dramatic effect. And this is actually, this side of the mountain is the face that will get the most recognition because as you drive up and you come up to enter into the backyard, this is predominantly the first thing that you're going to see is this particular entranceway. Now this section has a lot going on as well. You've got these mysterious stairs that just go up into, to only God knows what. And then you've got this other cave that's rather large that you could climb through or walk through. You've got a small cave, which is the front side of where that kiddie cave was that I just showed you in the back. And then you're opening up into the back of the pool area. This is the area that I was talking about earlier in the shallow side of the pool. This is actually going to be a cocktail or a bar area. Inside of here, there'll be a full kitchen, countertops, food prep, refrigeration, all that kind of stuff. A massive giant screen TV that you can see from the 4-foot side. I do believe there's chairs in the pool on the shallow side, so you don't even have to get out of the pool. But that's what they wanted. They wanted something that was open. It looked very much a part of the mountain. They didn't want it to lose, they didn't want it to go into like a modern setting. They wanted to kind of keep the feel. Then you pass through here. This is another piece of structural, which gives you access to the bar area. Inside of here, you'll have your bar. To my left, you'll see this is a big space for the bar. It goes back about 20 feet or so. Then to my right, this area here will be a changing station and a bathroom right here. There'll be a separate door for this, and then there'll be a bulkhead back here. As you go through this side, there'll be an entranceway that comes to the pool house or the pool control room. This will hold all of your pumps, all of your mechanicals, all of your electrical, all your pumping apparatuses, Wi-Fi, the Ethernet, all that kind of stuff that goes to smart home technology will all be stored and properly positioned in this particular room. Then there'll be a section in the back here for pool toys, you know, the donuts and the pool noodles and whatever else he wants. The second area to get into the pool is right here. After you come through the side tunnel, there'll be a diagonal step that steps down about 3 or 4 steps that comes into your shallow end. And this gives you access to the pool from this side. This is how you can primarily come in if you just want to step in, or you could just jump in right here. When this is going on, when all this water's coming down, this will actually be pretty loud in here because you've got basically a wall-to-wall, various heights waterfalls that are splashing down right here. So when that's on, you really don't know what's going on in here because it will be obstructed. And then, of course, all of the upper stuff right here that gets put in after the deck is put in, that'll all have characteristics that will be, you know, rock-like as well. Now, for those of you who are saying, wow, that is a really massive lid, how are you possibly going to support all that weight? Well, this is an L-shaped building back here, and there's like a 36-foot long strip. For all of you out there who are probably no doubt wondering, how is all of this supported structurally? Well, that's a great question. What we did is we have basically an L-shaped facility right here with about a 36-foot span across the pool, and it's 14 feet wide. That needs to be supported. So what we did is we had a trailer manufacturer build a trailer, and it was rated for tens of thousands of pounds. I think it's like 60,000 pounds or something of that nature. Basically, you can put a steel coil on this thing, and it's going to span the distance. And we figured out our live load. I think it was 60 pounds per square foot plus the live load, I believe. So we've got more than enough structure to support this. We've got an I-beam that comes across the face of it. We're tied into 3 points. We've got this bulkhead. We've got the bulkhead behind me. And then we have structural steel and a beam that comes across this way, tying that together. There's a beam right here from this center pile that comes up, and then another I-beam that comes across through the center of it that ties into this adjoining I-beam. So it is every which way you could think. We've got a lot of structure. In fact, it's probably complete overkill. But we didn't want to take any chances, and we just wanted to make sure that everything was absolutely sound and solid. Okay, back to our main entranceway here. We've got the inside taken care of. Now we're coming out here. We've got some major rock that's coming out here. This is a big well that will be opened up so that wisteria, Boston ivies, various types of plants can be rooted in there and grown up. And in fact, there'll be a couple places on this property where they'll be able to plant some major vines that will be able to tie into the mountain, because this is not necessarily all concrete. There'll be a large area that has pavers, so we'll be able to remove some pavers and plant some really, really good aggressive ivies and plants that can start to take the mountain. So as we come this way, we've got various ledges. Now, I'm a big fan of jumping rocks, and what we have here is a series of jumping rocks that is really close to our edge. We've got basically a 3-foot, a 5-foot, maybe a 7-foot, or an 8-foot right here. So we've got these jumping rocks that are real close to the coping to allow people to jump off at any level. And as you come up, This will be the highest point that you can get to without actually getting on the top. And even at 8 foot, it's pretty impressive from a jump. You can jump off, you're basically jumping into 10 feet of water, and that's going to be tremendously exciting, for anybody at this stage, until they get enough moxie to go for the big boys. This will be the walk of shame. If you ever got chickened out, you had to come down. All right. Now, across this face, we have a series of waterfalls. I used to have a lot of the tinsel showing off exactly where each of them were, but I think the kids had fun with it and pulled half of it down. So you've got a major waterfall right here that's about 6 feet long. You've got another one right here that's about 8 feet long, so that's 2. You've got a third water that's in the cove right here, that's 3. And then you have your slide. Now your slide is going to be extremely fast. It's very aggressive. It's about 26 feet long or so. And the cool thing about the slide is I've done waterfalls that splash over the slide, but in this case I've got waterfalls that splash from the side into the slide. So I've got a big waterfall there, and then I've got another ledge above it. So you've got 2 different waterfalls that are splashing into this, creating a lot of water generated in the first 12 feet of this slide. Now there'll be water up at the top, but I've got a massive amount of water gushing and blasting through this to create a massive waterfall right here. So we've got the hot tub waterfall, we've got this waterfall, these 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 waterfalls all together. And I think that's just going to be just what the doctor would order for something this size. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about on this level is my jumping rock. That rock up there measures out from the water at least 16 feet high. And that's what they wanted. They wanted a 16-foot high jump coming off of the rock face into the deep end. When you're up there, it's nerve-wracking. But I can't wait to show you the photos and the pictures and the videos of all the knuckleheads that are going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff off that jump. It's impressive. So, this whole face right here has a particular theme, and that is you've got foliage that is coming down and bleeding through there. The client I offered them to do live foliage, but they didn't want the upkeep, and quite frankly, I don't blame them. So every so many years or every 2 years or whatever, they'll replace the foliage and have a lot of vinage and things going inside of that until the actual perimeter vinage starts to take over. So artificials is the way to go if you don't want the hassles. Okay, all the ground floor stuff has been taken care of. There's one last area to explore, and that's of course the upstairs deck. I'm super excited about this deck. It's by far one of the funnest elements to create, because you can almost visualize what's going to take place up here. So let's go check that out. All right. So here we are. We're up in the deck. It's a very large area, and immediately, even though it's very large, you have a wide open space for whatever you want to happen here. The first thing you should notice is all the perimeter seating, or the seat walls that are along the sides. There'll be stations for phone charging and all of that. There'll be appropriate areas where there'll be big umbrellas that are mounted that can be opened up in the heat of the day. And there'll also be a mister system that's up here, so when it gets really hot, you can turn on the misters, and this whole deck will just mist out and cool everything down and everybody that's up here. But let's break this down a little bit. The first thing I want to talk about is these double loungers. Now, these double loungers are designed so that you can just come in, sit down, and two people can sit right next to each other. So you can have a couple there and a couple here. So it was meant to be able to just relax, lounge out. Each double lounger area has an ice rock so that you can get up and get a drink if you want. and basically set down your drinks. If you're sitting next to the side here, you can rest your drinks on the ledge, or if you're resting your drinks over here, you're sitting right there, you've got that as well. So you've got an ice rock right here that will support these guys over here. You've got another seat wall system that's right here, and this is designed so that you can entertain over this massive fire pit. That'll be a display for the top here for nighttime. It's not a log fire. This is all gas, but it'll be a series of curved fire burners, and it'll be raised up off the deck with some underlighting underneath of that. That looks really nice. All of this up here, from this point to this crevice, this is all jumping area right up here. This whole area right up here, you can jump off and you're into the pool. And that's basically anywhere from 12 to 13 feet, you know, in height over the actual deck, the water's edge. Over here, we've got a terraced ledge. We'll come up. This will be a terraced right here. We're kind of contemplating embedding some type of a lighting system right here to denote that that's a terraced ledge. You come up, you've got another dual area where you can sit down with two couples, a double lounger. Sit down, enjoy yourself, canopied over the top, various umbrellas. You've got your ice rack. You've got plenty of space to put books, you know, whatever, purses, you know, phones, whatever you want right here. And then, of course, there'll be charging stations as well. Over here, you've got a 6-person bar. And this bar will have a sink in it. It'll have water that drains down and out. And then, of course, there'll be refrigeration up here as well. There'll be a cooling thing. I think he talked about maybe having an ice maker. There'll be a massive umbrella right here coming up that'll shield from the sun, and then there'll be 6 places that you can sit. There's also the first waterfall for the slide is right here. The second one is just below it. And then, of course, you've got your main jumping rock, or the biggest jumping rock is right here. That's the big boy. And when you're up there, it is intimidating. And then the last thing, of course, is the slide. You'll come up. You'll have water jetting into it. People will be able to come up. They'll be able to sit down, swing their legs over, scooch once or twice, and then go. And it's going to be a fast one. So that's the slide. I wish it was on right now because it is very hot, especially even up here. So this is something that has been long awaited. There was a lot of planning that went into this, and super excited to kind of roll this thing out. It's just a few weeks away before we moved it from here to the job site, and we actually start to fabricate it, put all the water, put all the electrical, the plumbing, everything that goes into it, and then we structure coat it and we begin to sculpt it. Our goal is to have it finished here before the season's out. We want to get some awesome pictures, do a couple jumps ourselves, and we are super fired up about this. So keep tuned up. If you're not signed up on verticalartisans.com on the newsletter, please do so, because we'll launch all of our upgrades through that. Also stay on us on Facebook with Vertical Decorative Concrete, and YouTube as well. We're on Instagram, TikTok. We're well represented. Keep in touch for all the updates that are about to take place. And if you're not a subscriber to the actual website, you're going to want to do that. This is by far one of the most phenomenal courses that will be created for large-scale waterfalls. Until next time.